What's up, YouTube land? It's your boy Anton, aka Dr. Mix-a-Lot. And today I'm here to talk to you about the Dr. Mix-a-Lot Marketing Pack, which is just a section of my website I have to give out some free content to starting or maybe even experienced freelance bartenders to help you in your mobile bartending operations. So anyway, I'm going to just dive straight into it. We're going to go to my website at drmixalot.com. Go to the More tab and Freelance Bartenders Only. And this is a section again where I just want to make some content available to you guys that hopefully might aid you in some of the questions you might have or making things a little more efficient in your business that have worked for me over the years. So of course I have my YouTube video library here, which will lead you to my channel. So hopefully make sure you check that out. And of course, click the like or subscribe button if you see anything you like. But I'm just going to give you an overview of the different materials here so you're aware and kind of give you just a summary of each one. And you'll be able to get more details again from my other videos as appropriate. So first here, we just have some templates. This is what I use just for general operations. So you got your customer service agreement, your marketing templates, tools you'll need, independent contractors agreements, a marketing price chart, which will help you set your price when you're first starting out, and of course, a business card template. Next, we have the specialty cocktail ideas, which I hope is really helpful for you guys. This is just a list of different things when your customers want to get fancy and have some theme or specialty cocktail stuff, then this is a great place to start. And I'll kind of go into those a little more detail later. And this is the big one, which I'm really hoping is going to help people out, is your drink supplies calculation list, because you will inevitably get that question: how much alcohol should I supply for my event? This right here is meant to answer that question as precisely as possible. So just to go in the overview again, first starting off with the templates, and these are all meant to be downloaded right to your computer. You can view them hopefully easily. Again, make sure that you have your Microsoft Office suite, with Word and Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher are all helpful, as well as Adobe Acrobat Reader, because these come in those different files that are read by those programs. But starting here, you have your customer service template, which again, I go into more details in other videos, but your basic information you want your customer to enter here. I try to make sure that we have a checklist of things so it's clear the additional items as well as discounts the customer's getting. You have a nice pricing table down here, which breaks everything down, itemized. This really helps customers trust what they're paying for, and it gives you the ability to negotiate things in between. Your total event quote, deposit, and whatever's remaining, and then of course your terms and conditions. Your signature block for your customer, and then an invoice receipt for what your customer needs to pay, whether it's deposit or all up front, whatever, what have you. You want to have all those components in your customer agreement. Next, we'll go through the marketing templates. This is a nifty little file of kind of pre-set talking points where I can send these out to customers and I can basically fill in the blank. I do this probably about 3 or 4 times a day with all the leads I get from GigSalad. And basically you can use this to show what your customers are going to get, all your at least summarized versions of your terms and conditions, and anything else they need to know. This is a good one, a list of information you need for a quote, especially when you're first starting out. You're going to see that customers are going to give you like 2 pieces of information. And it's like, okay, I got a bartending party in Baltimore from 6 to 11. Okay, what do I do with that? Where do I need to be? Who's doing this? What's the type of event? What date is it? How many people are showing up? On and on. This is intended to just be an all-inclusive list of everything you need to get. So when this customer says, hey, I have a party in Baltimore, 6 to 11, we'll follow up with them. Well, that's great. Thank you for contacting us. And I just needed additional pieces of information before I can get you out a quote and an itemized agreement. And that's where this comes in. So I send this off almost without thinking. Saves me a lot of time and headaches when it comes to customers. You have your also, I have different templates for Thumbtack versus GigSalad, and these are all auto responses here that you can change at your leisure. Itemized quote requests. So whenever I get to the point of actually getting somebody a contract, then this is something that I use to just let them know what's in it. And if they need any questions, I have different templates for different venues that I have. Here, you'll see in your business that you will have a lot of back and forth at times where you're either negotiating or have to clean up different errors that were made on your part or the customer's, either or. So I actually have a market template where I show the breakdown of what changed, whether event time, if I added a service, ice, garnishes, etc., and then how much the price of the event actually changed. And again, this helps with your professionalism and customers showing that, hey, this person's on top of their game. It makes things easier and less to argue about later. I also send a booking confirmation to let people know, hey, I got your money, you're booked for that day. Let me know if you have any questions, and some other stuff that will help. Some of the maybe less eventful things that happen in your business, but may happen. And again, just make sure you go through this and see what works for you, what doesn't. I have a whole bunch of templates for days with this. Next is an independent contractor agreement. This is very important. You want to, unless you're actually hiring employees, which again, I try to err on the side of keeping contractors just for simplicity. You want to make sure that they sign an independent contractor agreement. You can make it as long as you want, indefinite. I guess that's possible, but I try to do mine on a kind of renewal basis of about 2 years, every 2 years. So then that way, you're kind of just keeping up to contact with your bartenders and kind of cycle them out as, needed as times change. But just kind of the overview, I just have a background of what we do, the terms and services in which, in which the bartender will work under this independent contractor agreement, and then the services they are expected to provide when contracting with Dr. Mix-a-Lot LLC. I give at least kind of a flat compensation to let them know that they'll be receiving at least this much for events, but that's at the discretion of the the one who makes who does the contractor, and as well as the customer. Then the relationship between the contractor and your business. So basically, again, you want to make it clear they are not your employee. You are not responsible for any taxes or services or expenses or anything they incur. They are simply there to work the event and cover anything else on their own. And that's where making sure you have control of your prices is very important, because I make sure that any expenses that these bartenders incur are passed off to the customer. And that way they are paid directly by the customer, and there's nothing in between for me to have to worry about when it comes to tax time. So again, just making that very clear. Again, liability stuff is important, and when you want to make sure you operate with insurance, but at the same time that bartender is responsible for their own actions, and that you are able to have some sort of legal recourse if that bartender just goes and totally F's up the party. With that said, you don't want that to happen, and it definitely is a negligible chance that it will. But of course, you always want to hope for the best and prepare for the worst, and that's exactly the reason you want to enter into an independent contractor agreement. I also talk about confidentiality, intellectual property. That's not necessarily as important, but if you make something, maybe a great new drink or some sort of menu or some sort of creative thing, you just don't want your contractor to take that and mooch off of you and get rich off of it, off your idea. So that's some language in here. And of course, termination, to let people know when this relationship is going to be terminated, if at all. And then of course, the signature block here. Next, you got your marketing chart, which this is something that I use as soon as this opens. And this is something I use, especially for you beginner bartenders out or freelancers out there anyway, that I try to go to different websites and just see who's out there, who's charging what. This is a horribly outdated marketing chart, and the prices are probably higher than this, but you can see a distribution of different prices. And boom, this is kind of how I started off. This is where I'm going to start probably some years ago around this area, because I see that, the highest that was going back then was like 50, but the lowest was under 20, which is kind of wild. So to each their own, but I just wanted to make sure that I bracketed myself where I kind of got the customers that I felt would best fit my business model. So I really encourage you to go there and check that out and see if you can create a price bracket when you're starting off. And then, of course, your business card template, where this is just kind of the dry version of it. Put your logo here, all your pertinent information. And I also recommend including any kind of QR code, whether it's to your website. A big thing now is we're doing a lot of I guess PayPal too, but mainly Venmo, Cash App, maybe even Zelle. All those use different QR codes, which customers now, they'll ask you straight up, do you have a Cash App? And it's a great way to pick up some tips without having to worry about sweating the customer for cash or change. But with that said, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you make some sort of logo distinctive, that people know who you are, all your information, a QR code for anything that you need. And I'm telling you, man, people love business cards, love leave behinds. And I have gotten sometimes 1 to 2 or even 3 customers from the same event getting back to me because I left my business card. So make sure you just go to the site and see about making a card through any means that you can. This is pretty self-explanatory. I just have my specialty cocktail list ideas here. So feel free to grab some of these and send them off to your customers. Obviously, you'll probably want to take this out of the mix, my logo on there. But you can do what you want with these. And these are just a bunch of different themed drinks. You got popular drinks, weddings, cocktail parties, summer drinks, etc., that, you can use to wow your customers and show them that you got some creativity in your drinks. So feel free to take some of these from the website. Again, this is a big one. This is the drink supplies calculation list, which I go into in another video. So for now, I'm just going to give you the overview. But again, you should be able to easily download that from the website and open this in your Excel sheet. And again, this is a great way to get a little more precise about how much alcohol you want to provide, or you want to have your guests provide for an event. So you have your number of guests, drinks per guest per hour, and event hours here, which will give you a certain amount of servings that you're going to want to get. And then you can break it down into percentages between beer, wine, and liquor. So if you had just a beer and wine party, for example, then you could just change that to this. And there you go. So then there you go. If anybody wants to have beer and wine party, no liquor, then you want to shoot for these actual amounts compared to the target amount here. And this is a great way of helping to answer that question when customers need to know how much alcohol to get. If you do want to provide liquor, we can go back to that. Usually it's about a 20, 60% breakdown. And you can change your numbers here, etc. And you want your total numbers of servings here to match this one as much as possible. And again, you can modulate this any way you want. So you can at least have a justification of what you're telling your customers and how you came about your numbers. But I guarantee you they won't even ask. The fact that you have the confidence to do this and at least have an understanding of where you're getting your numbers from, they'll usually take you at your word, and at least you know where you're getting your stuff from, at least by a very educated guess, at least. And then finally, you can pop those numbers into your drink supply suggestion list, this is what you're going to send to your customers. The Excel sheet is kind of more for internal purposes, but you can send this off. And again, it's worked for me for years. Customers absolutely love this. And it's basically broken down into wine and liquor, which are 750 milliliter bottle standard, your 12 ounces of bottles of cans of beer, 2-liter sodas, and juice broken down into quarts, which of course 4 quarts equals a gallon. And you can use your supplies spreadsheet to plug those numbers into here and give a nice, neat shopping sheet for your guests to use to provide the alcohol for their events. And again, you can charge extra for all of this stuff. So I hope that was helpful in that aspect. So again, make sure you visit the Dr. Mix-a-Lot Marketing Pack part of the website. I really hope to get some clicks, some likes, some feedbacks on any of this stuff. So I really hope this helps you out. If you like this, make sure you click the like or subscribe button. As always, happy mixing, and cheers to unbeatable service.